a gruesome discovery in a tow yard.
Authorities say they were called to an impound lot in Hollywood after someone noticed a foul odor coming from a car.
The woman's body stuffed into a Tesla and left for days or even weeks on the streets of Hollywood.
Eyewitness News confirming that vehicle was registered to 20-year-old singer David Anthony Burke.
The body of the girl found in singer David's car, Celeste Rivas, has been released to her family. They completed the autopsy, so they have enough information on the body to go ahead and say, we can let her go now.
There have been 0 arrests, convictions, or just really anything concrete. One thing we can deduce is that we don't really know anything at this point.
Psychopaths are not that stupid.
You put the body in your car.
Yeah,
so he's leaving the car with a body inside, going on tour for a month, and thinking, what? Eventually, yeah, I guess they'll find the body. No, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
If it was not him, then who?
On the surface, the case of David and the tragic death of Celeste seems straightforward. A dark tale of life imitating art. The media has painted a picture, and the evidence seems to point in one direction. But this video isn't about the story you already know. We're here to challenge the existing narrative, to look at the cracks in the official version, and to ask the questions that most people aren't focusing on. What if he didn't do it? What if he did, but didn't act alone? And what if a much larger, more powerful machine in the music business had something to gain from this tragedy?
He didn't do it.
He's not a murderer?
No.
Thank God, bro, because I was still going to listen to his music. I was just worried that I'd be an asshole if I did.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
He's not just escaping the police clutches?
Stay with us as we explore the angles that could change the entire David narrative. Let's quickly recap the official timeline. David Burke, known to the world as David, is a musical prodigy who skyrocketed from a gaming streamer to a global sensation. Celeste, a young woman with a troubled past, was an early fan who became part of his inner circle. For over a year, she was considered a missing person until a horrific discovery was made. Her dismembered body was found in the trunk of David's Tesla, which was parked in an impound lot, after being found abandoned just up the block from the home he lived in. Police recently executed a search warrant on that home. A home leased, not by David, but by his manager. The connection seems direct, the motive even more so. Beyond direct evidence, parallels between David's art and the tragedy are unsettling. His song Romantic Homicide, once seen as metaphorical, now appears chillingly literal. Lyrics like, "In the back of my mind you died, and I didn't even cry," and "I killed you in my mind," resonate darkly.
The back of my mind, but then you think that I'm gonna say you died, but I say I killed you. So it's not like the thought of her is gone by itself was something that she did, it was something that I decided to do. I killed her in the back of my mind.
His mother even found the song's violent themes alarming, a reaction now viewed as a dark premonition rather than just narrative flair.
Whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. Like when I used to get up and get dressed for school in the morning, I put on this cool fit. She would like, take that off, put on a suit or something like that, you know? I knew it was cool if she hated it. I played it for her in the car. She was like, "David, this song is too violent. You talking about killing people in your music? No, not my son." I was like, wait, I might be onto something, bro. So I dropped it right after that. And it went crazy. TikTok, viral, 1 million views overnight. I was like, oh yeah, we cooking, boy. We cooking, boy. So right at that moment, I was like, my mom has done it again.
David's dark aesthetic, featuring morbid imagery, is under scrutiny following Celeste's death. Months before her remains were found, his One More Dance music video depicted him dragging a lifeless body into a car trunk, with David playing both killer and victim. At concerts, he used caskets and a guest book for respects. He also discussed an alter ego, Itami, who solves murders that he committed himself.
There was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments. He would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. I'd be like solving murders that I'm committing myself.
These artistic choices now appear unsettling given the circumstances of Celeste's death, which eerily mirror his art. But this is where the official story begins to collapse under scrutiny. Because when you analyze the details, almost nothing about this crime makes logical sense.
They're alleging that whoever the body was at this point, was dismembered. According to Times, the remains are described as, quote, a head and a torso.
Who kills a person, dismembers the body, and then keeps all the remains together in one place. The entire purpose of dismemberment in a criminal context is to scatter the evidence, to make a body disappear, leaving the remains intact in the trunk of your own car parked where you live, and then leaving town. This isn't the work of someone trying to get away with murder. It's either the act of a fool, or it's a scene that was meant to be found. The questions don't stop there. Celeste had been considered missing for a year, yet there was a credible sighting of someone matching her description in an exclusive section of David's show, just a week and a half before her body was found. If this was her, how could her remains be so badly decomposed in such a short amount of time, as investigators pointed out? It's a detail that throws the entire timeline into chaos. To understand what might have really happened, we have to understand the threat Celeste represented. When David first connected with her, he was a nobody, but now he's 20 years old, on the cusp of true stardom with a hit debut album and a world tour, backed by a major record label. But he has a terrible secret, a skeleton in his closet that could end it all. That secret is Celeste, an underage girlfriend, more like a victim if you ask me, who knows the truth about him. If she were to speak up and expose him as a predator who groomed her, David's career would crash and burn overnight. Celeste had that power over him. To take it further, there are indications that Celeste was gaining confidence to challenge him. She had maintained contact with some friends even while missing, and there's talk that she was documenting her experiences. Despite initial denials of knowing her, evidence of their association has rapidly emerged. Perhaps the most incriminating direct connection between David and Celeste is a live stream clip from January 2024, when Celeste was only 13, reportedly shows Celeste appearing on camera with David.
I media trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Really good. It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
David's reaction is telling. He appears visibly uncomfortable and abruptly instructs his moderators to delete the entire stream recording. It's hard not to wonder if Celeste's mention this hit too close to home for him, given he was a 19-year-old possibly involved with her, a 13-year-old at that time.
Nigga was dating a 10-year-old, bro. Probably got her pregnant. That's why he did that stupid shit. That shit f***ed up, man.
It's conceivable she eventually threatened to go public or demanded something from him. That would have made her a direct threat to David's future and to all those invested in that future. David himself and people around him likely knew Celeste was a ticking time bomb. It's very possible others around him, like his management, record label reps, execs who were invested, etc., also recognized the threat she posed if the truth came out. This is the point where a dark question arises. If Celeste wouldn't stay silent, would someone ensure she was silenced? Whenever a crime like this occurs, investigators ask, cui bono, which means, who benefits? Let's apply that to Celeste's tragic death. On the surface, it's a personal horror story. But swirling around David is a music industry machine. Managers, record labels, PR teams, investors, all of whom had a stake in David's clean image and continued success. In the eyes of these entities, she was a liability, a ticking time bomb that threatened to destroy a multi-million-dollar investment. Now let's look at this from the perspective of the music business, the bigger machine. Consider 3 scenarios. Scenario 1. Imagine an alternate scenario where Celeste was never killed at all. Instead, she publicly accuses David of being a child who groomed her. The outcome would be catastrophic for David. His burgeoning career would be over in an instant. He'd be cancelled, likely face statutory rape charges, and any brand built around him would collapse. It would be a lose-lose. David loses his career and reputation, and the record label / management loses their investment in him. Nobody in David's camp would want this outcome, obviously. Now consider the scenario 2, which many people assume is true. David himself, perhaps with the help of someone in his inner circle, decides to eliminate Celeste to keep her quiet. He's desperate to protect his future, and in this scenario, the music business higher-ups aren't aware of the dirty deed. It's a personal action by David. What's the outcome? If he succeeds and never gets caught, in his mind that's a win. The problem disappears. But in reality, that's rarely how it plays out, because here we are now. Celeste's body was found and the case is blowing up. So David would be facing exposure as a murderer. That's obviously a huge loss for him if evidence proves his guilt.
I have been shocked to hear that David, who has been allegedly accused of a lot of awful things, his record sales are going through the roof right now. People are buying his music like crazy. Have y'all noticed this? Have you seen the numbers?
I've seen the numbers.
I think it's in support of him because they saying he's not guilty.
Shit. That
There's somebody else named David that could sing that had a Tesla.
It is people on the internet believing his innocence. It is already.
I am so surprised that they have not picked you up yet.
Yo,
I can't believe
I'm
it.
super shocked.
I can't make sense of it.
He's so guilty they ain't got to pick him up. They're watching him to see.
Paradoxically though, this scenario has an odd side effect. David's music has skyrocketed in popularity since the news broke. It's morbid but true. As of this week, his signature song, Romantic Homicide, hit the Spotify top 10 for the first time ever, 2 years after release. His streams more than doubled amid the headlines linking him to a dead girl. So the record label actually sees a short-term win. The artist's notoriety is driving spikes in sales and streams. If David were charged or even killed, hypothetically, the label still owns the music rights. Often when an artist infamously dies or is involved in scandal, their music surges, and the rights holders profit immensely. It's a cynical reality of the music business that tragedy can be lucrative. In this scenario, David loses, but the music business, temporarily, wins in terms of hype and revenue. Now let's consider a more sinister theory. What if the powers behind David orchestrated Celeste's death? Perhaps the management and label executives saw the writing on the wall. Celeste was a serious liability, and trusting a 20-year-old star to handle it might end in disaster. Maybe they decided to remove the threat proactively. This could have been done entirely behind David's back, so he has plausible deniability, or conceivably with his consent. Either way, the theory goes that professionals intervened to fix the problem. If true, this scenario would be the most chilling win for the machine. Celeste is gone, she can never talk, and the situation can now be spun to the industry's advantage. Think about it. Celeste's death is discovered in a manner that oddly mirrors David's art. The car trunk, the song lyrics. The public is now intensely interested. Streams are booming. His name is everywhere.
He didn't do it.
Out of all the evidence that's out there,
When they gonna let it stay out this long and they got a little bit of evidence? They didn't arrest with way less evidence. If nothing else, put him in jail just to put a hold on him.
A dead body found in your car.
Nothing. Listen, hold on. If they find a dead body in me and your car, and this is our car, do you think they'll let me and you stay out like long? They got all. So think about this. If they got all this information on him dating a minor, an underage kid, and she looked like a white girl, mixed girl, what do they let just stay free like this? We already claim about injustices. You don't think, like we see in all the first 48s and crime units victims, they would find some kind of reason to hold him and keep him, make sure he don't do nothing to flee? They're not no arrest. They got all this evidence to point to say he did it. He done sliced the body up because the body was butchered. So that means somewhere there's a location where there's been blood, where they put cut the lights. They got all this, no arrest.
One report noted that his latest EP saw a hundreds of % increase in streams in the days after Celeste was identified. It's the kind of spike money can't buy. The machine always finds a way to win, even in loss. Now, is there any evidence for this scenario? We obviously don't have smoking gun proof of industry involvement, but consider a few things. Celeste's death, as it stands, is shrouded in uncertainty. Is it possible the machine got someone in David's inner circle to commit the crime while he was away on tour? Remember, the house where David lived was leased by his manager, Josh Marshall, the same manager who reportedly reached out to the landlord to help David move out before the body was discovered. Also consider the timing and execution of the disposal. Celeste's body was found in David's own car, essentially at his doorstep. If a killer wanted to frame him blatantly, they might do exactly that. If a killer wanted to hide the crime completely, they would not do that. This feels like something in between. Almost tauntingly obvious, yet not an outright confession.
Maybe he did do it and wants to be caught. Again, we don't know.
I just said, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he did or didn't do it. All I'm saying is, we're all coming up with theories.
Yeah.
And yeah, one is he did, but there's another that he didn't. Boy, you want to frame somebody? Boom.
Put it in the car.
Boom.
And also, the car was moved as well, right? Am I getting that right?
Well, we don't know where it was between August 5th and around August 26th, because August 26th was when they found it when they ticketed it on the street. Again, it may have been there days before, but I know that street because I lived on that street, and they have street cleaning once a week, and they ticket you if you keep your car there.
Why would any criminal go through the troubles of dismembering a body just to bag it all together, put it in the trunk of their personal Tesla, and leave that car parked a few blocks from their house? It's practically begging to be discovered, which it was. It doesn't add up if the goal was to get away with murder cleanly, but it does add up if the goal was something more complex, perhaps to send a message, or to shift suspicion, or because the perpetrator panicked mid-cleanup. One theory might suggest Celeste was killed while David was touring, with his absence used as an alibi. Someone may have driven his Tesla, containing her body, to dispose of it. However, maybe an accident happened or the perpetrator panicked. A neighbor reported David's Tesla was abandoned after an accident. This might have forced the driver to ditch it near David's house, putting a pause on completing the disposal. But probably being on the road with David, towing intervened. This implies someone close to David, with access to his car and house, could be involved, possibly to protect him. To be clear, all these scenarios are tragic and horrifying. In every version, it's a lose-lose for Celeste and her family. Nothing can bring back this young girl or justify what happened to her. Our exploration of motives isn't to overshadow that human loss, but to ensure no potential motive or perpetrator is overlooked. Sometimes the truth is straightforward, other times it's as twisted as a thriller plot. Even with all the theories floating, there are hard factual questions swirling around that just don't make sense yet. Why hasn't David been arrested or officially named a suspect? From an average person's perspective, it seems almost obvious that he should be a prime suspect. It was his car containing a dead teenager he apparently knew. Yet law enforcement is moving cautiously. Legal experts point out that police need solid evidence, like forensic evidence or video proof, before they can charge him. Was there security camera footage? We know the Hollywood Hills house was wired with cameras outside. If Celeste was ever brought into that home, alive or otherwise, there should be video evidence of it, unless conveniently, the footage was erased or the system was off. The homeowner said once tenants move in this case Josh Marshall and David, he gives them control of the camera system, because he does not want tenants thinking he's spying on them. So, was anything caught on tape? If so, did someone wipe it? Detectives will be digging into that with the security company. It's potentially make or break evidence. Also, David's manager, Josh Marshall, is an interesting figure here. He's the one who actually signed the lease for the Hollywood mansion back in February 2024. Fast forward to after the body was found. Police raided the home on September 18, 2025, collecting evidence. Immediately after that search, the manager abruptly terminated the lease and began moving out. The landlord reported that Marshall asked to end the $20,000 per month rental early, and within days movers had emptied the place. The speed of that move out, happening before any charges were filed, raised suspicions. At this stage, one thing is painfully clear. Something isn't adding up in the David Celeste case. Whether the story is one of a panicked young musician trying to cover up a crime, or a larger conspiracy involving those who profit from his success, remains to be seen. We've laid out the known facts, the eerie coincidences, and the leading theories. Now, you let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think David is aware of the crime, or there is a bigger play at hand we're just not piecing together yet? We will be watching closely as the investigation progresses and more evidence comes to light. In the end, the truth will come out. It always does, eventually. Until then, let's honor Celeste's memory by refusing to let her case be simplified or brushed under the rug. Thank you for watching.